This is a 5-star puzzle from today's Hindu. Let's get started.
Look at this pattern of numbers. You have one row completely filled, one row completely empty, and the other row has just one cell left. Now, to fill this cell, you need to identify a number which is blocking these three cells completely. You have a 4 here, which blocks these three cells. So 4 naturally goes here in G4. We have a similar pattern here, and we have 6 completely blocking these three cells, sorry. So C6 takes 6. Now, if you see this I row, you have 4 and 8 blocking these two cells, and there are two cells left empty here. So 4 and 8 has to be in these two cells. You have 4 and 8 at the top. So accordingly, I9 takes 4 and I8 takes 8. Now the missing numbers in I row are 1 and 2. There is a 1 blocking from here. So I3 takes 2 and I2 takes 1. In block 2, there are only 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 2, 5 and 7. That is 2, 5 and 7 goes in these 3 cells. So in B row, you have only 4 empty cells left and the missing numbers are 1, 3, 4 and 8. Now you can see there is 1, 4 and 8 blocking this cell, and there are only 3 cells left. That means naturally these 3 cells will take 1, 4 and 8. And we have here 1 and 8 blocking here, so B2 takes 4. There is a 1 blocking here, so B3 takes 8 and B1 takes 1. Now in B row, the only missing number is 3 and 3 goes here in B8. Let's try to fill column 3. There are 4 empty cells in column 3. You can see 5 and 9 blocking these two cells. So 5 and 9 has to go in C3 and G3. You already have a 9 blocking here, so C3 takes 5 and G3 takes 9. Now the missing numbers are 3 and 4. There is a 3 blocking from here, so F3 takes 4 and E3 takes 3. There is a 4 and 8 in third block, and there is a 4 and 8 here in ninth block, which blocks these two columns. So these two cells take 4 and 8. Let's fill it with 4, 8 pair. Now you have a 9 here in column 9 and a 9 here in F row, which blocks these 3 cells. So 9 goes here in D8. Here we have a similar pattern. There is a 4 and 9 in block 2 and a 4 and 9 here in bottom section, which blocks these two columns, and there is a 4 and 9 blocking this entire row. That means 4 and 9 goes in these two cells. There is a 9 blocking from here, so 4 goes here in D6 and E6 takes 9. Now in D row, there are only 4 empty cells. You can see here 3 and 5 blocking these two cells. That means 3 and 5 has to be in these two cells. There is a 3 blocking from here. So D4 takes 5 and D5 takes 3. Now in D row, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 2 and 7. Let's mark it with 2, 7 pair. Now in this fourth block, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 6 and 8. There is 8 blocking from here. So F2 takes 6 and F1 takes E1 takes 8. Now similarly in this seventh block, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 3 and 6. Since there is a 6 blocking from here, H2 takes 3 and G1 takes 6. Let's try to fill H row. In this block, there are 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 1, 5 and 8. So this 1, 5 and 8 blocks these 3 cells. That means there are only 3 cells left in H row and the missing numbers are 2, 6 and 9. There is a 6 and 9 here in column 9. So H9 takes 2. There is a 6 here in column 7 and a 9 here in column 8. So accordingly, H7 takes 9 and H8 takes 6. Let's try to fill this 0. There are only 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 1, 3 and 5. There is 1 and 3 in column 8. So G8 takes 5. There is a 3 here. So G7 takes 1 and G9 takes 3. In sixth block, there are only 3 empty cells. The missing numbers are 2, 5 and 7. There is a 2 here in column 9 and a 5 here in in E row, which blocks this cell. That means in this cell 2 and 5 cannot appear. So this cell takes 7. Now 2 and 5 goes in these 2 cells. So we have a 2 and 5 blocking here. So F8 takes 2 and F9 takes 5. In E row, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 2 and 6. There is a 2 blocking from here. So E5 takes 6 and E4 takes 2. This 2 blocks this cell and this 2 here blocks this cell. So in column 6, this is the only place, that is B6 is the only place where 2 can be. Now in column 6, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 5 and 8. There is a 5 blocking here in F row. So F6 takes 8 and H6 takes 5. In H row, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 1 and 8. There is a 8 blocking from here. So H5 takes 1 and H4 takes 8. Similarly, here in B row, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 5 and 7. There is a 5 blocking from here. So B4 takes 7 and B5 takes 5. In F row, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 1 and 7. There is a 1 blocking from here. So F5 takes 7 and F4 takes 1. Now there is a 9 here in C row and a 9 in column 1, which blocks these 3 cells. So 9 goes here in A2. In A row, there are only 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 2, 5 and 7. You can see 2 and 5 blocking from here. So A8 takes 7. Now the missing numbers are 2 and 5. There is a 5 here blocking this cell. So A7 takes 5 and A1 takes 2. This 2 cancels out the 2 here. So D1 becomes 7 and D2 takes 2. Now in this block 1, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 3 and 7. There is a 7 blocking from here. So C1 takes 3 and C2 takes 7. Similarly, here in this block, there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 1 and 2. There is a 1 blocking from here. So C7 takes 2 and C9 takes 1. And the puzzle is solved.